With the Burning Crusade pre-patch finally here, we have 3 weeks before we walk through the Dark Portal once again. This gives us plenty of time to set up our characters for the launch of TBC, which will be on February 5th. In this video, I'm going to cover what to do to make the most out of your pre-patch experience. So let's get right into it. The first, and probably the most obvious, is leveling up a Pally or Shaman, or just leveling up in general. With it being around 30% faster to level during the pre-patch, it's going to be quite a big improvement compared to vanilla. XP to level from 20 to 60 is around 15% per level, and from level 30 to 60, quests are going to give you 40% more experience, and this is why pre-questing is going to be very important. We'll talk more about that later. Leveling during the pre-patch just becomes a much more laid-back experience. With a ton of new quests becoming available, certain elite quests no longer being elite, making it much easier to complete them, and then of course the dungeon loot being further optimized, making it so much easier to gear up as you level. So whether you're buying the standalone boost at level 58, you will still have some things to check off your list. My plan is going to be boosting a paladin, but you're still going to need to level up for 2 more levels. What I'm going to do is head straight into Scholomance, just farm the trash for a couple of levels, get to 58 to 60, and then progress and do multiple things at once. Farming Dark Runes for gold, gearing up with the dungeon drops, and then getting Argent Dawn reputation, which is needed for the Naxxramas attunement. Something important to keep in mind is you will still need to do the attunements in order to step into the raids. Next, we have the honor system being completely removed in the Burning Crusade. This will give you the opportunity to pick up some really juicy weapons during the pre-patch. My recommendation is just to get a rank 14 weapon, and then focus on maxing out your character at 75,000 honor. You'll be able to use this honor at level 70 and purchase some really good off pieces. The bracers and boots are typically going to be pre-bis or even bis if you're playing a certain class. Just keep in mind you will need certain battleground marks to purchase certain gear. I'll leave a link to a gearing guide that Redzi made on how long each PvP item will last you in Outland. And most importantly, don't AFK in Battlegrounds. The pre-patch period is the easiest time to catch a ban, as Blizzard has historically been more strict during pre-patches. Next, we're going to be wanting to level up jewel crafting, or any new profession you might be re-rolling to. Jewel crafting is going to be the cheapest during the pre-patch, so I recommend doing this now rather than later. Typically, players will not go out of their way to farm these materials. One thing you can do with jewel crafting is prospect thorium ore to help you obtain some of these vanilla materials. But over time, thorium should also go up in price. And you might want to level up Enchanting, as you no longer can disenchant on a level 5 bank alt. It will now be required to have a higher level of Enchanting to disenchant certain items. As we level our professions, it's important to hold on to certain vanilla materials, as you can get some easy levels early on, anywhere from level 320 to 330. I made an entire video talking about this, which I'll link in the description, and I will also include the list which covers each profession and each material I recommend. It's simple things that you might be overlooking, like sandworm meat, rugged leather, thorium bars, rune cloth, or illusion dust. I highly recommend doing this, as you're going to save yourself a ton of gold, with most TBC materials being very pricey early on. This could also be a great opportunity to make a ton of gold by stockpiling certain materials from vanilla. Things like thorium ore, mithril ore, Grom's blood, ghost mushroom, mountain silver sage, and dreamfoil. There's really no telling how expensive some of these items might get. If you have any professionals, you might think you only need to level them from level 35 to 50. While this might be true to level the profession all the way to max level, you won't be able to access the mastery quest lines. For example, Spellfire Tailoring becomes available at level 60, or even level 68 if you're after Transmute Mastery. One more thing regarding professions, some cooldowns will be removed. Things like Mooncloth or Arcanite Transmutes will no longer have a cooldown, but some cooldowns will still be in the game, like the Salt Shaker for Leatherworking. Be sure to head to your class trainer to learn any new spell ranks. With the books no longer being required from AQ20 and most of the BOE spells becoming available to your class trainer, it's a great idea to go and check out what new spells you might have to purchase. Mages will also get 2 new portal spells, Alliance will get access to Theramore and Exodar, and Horde will get access to Stoneard and Silvermoon. Something very unique and time sensitive during the pre-patch is picking up the Tabard of the Protector. Head to Blasted Lands and pick up the quest Into the Breach. This will be located right outside of the Dark Portal. Simply defeat 6 Felguards to complete the quest. Very similar to the Argent Dawn Tabard, but this one has a cool-on use, so make sure to take advantage of this limited time quest. While we're talking about questing, I think it's very important to mention a pre-quest stack. Whether you follow my pre-questing route, the Rested XP one, or you're just going in with a full quest log, this is going to be a huge advantage and something to consider if the servers are going to be unstable. By no means necessary, but I would highly recommend at least going in with a full quest stack. In the description of the video, I will leave my spreadsheet, which is going to be completely free, and you can customize this around to your own liking. And of course, I will be leaving the paid version with the Rested XP one, which is an add-on, pretty much putting you on autopilot, pointing you in the right direction at all times. And if you don't feel like following any of the pre-questing guides, at least have a full quest stack or just a partially completed quest stack of at least like the Light's Hope Chapel, all the quests in Silithus, something like that. Turn all of these in, Hearth to Blasted Lands, and then head into the Dark Portal. This is going to give you a huge advantage, and there's basically no downside for preparing this in the pre-patch. With that in mind, I wanted to point out a very important quest line which can give you a very powerful trinket. This is part of a pre-questing route, so you might not want to complete this one. To start this quest, you'll need to loot the empty firewater flask, which will drop off at any of the fur bogs within Winterspring. You'll complete this quest line all the way down to Winterfall Runners. Completing this quest unlocks the crudely written log, which will now drop from High Chief Winterfall. Turning this quest in will unlock the final follow-up, Words of the High Chief. Upon completion, you'll be able to pick between two trinkets, one with 50 attack power and the other with 29 spell power. Another easy option for trinkets is the Direwall books. Buy one of these from the auction house, head to Direwall North, and then find someone to open up the library. There's a few ways to open this up, but what I find to be the easiest is joining a hunter's group selling Direwall buffs. Most of the time, they'll have this open for you. Make your way down the hall into the library and turn the quest in for a super easy trinket. And of course, with the pre-patch, we have to talk about raiding and gearing up your character. Raiding during the pre-patch is some of the most fun I've ever had, with certain abilities becoming baseline, and using the TBC talent trees at level 60 offers this incomparable experience. This is such a unique time to be raiding since you won't have a similar opportunity again. With these raiding changes, it's going to be a lot simpler to clear the raids than it was in vanilla. For that reason, you're going to have a ton of opportunities and plenty of raids to choose from. I would first focus on ZG and Molten Core, since they are typically the easier raids to get into, not requiring a whole lot of gear in order to clear them. ZG does not have an attunement, so you can step right into this as soon as you hit level 60. Meanwhile, Molten Core, you do need to do an attunement, which is also quite easy. Again, I will leave a link to all of the attunement quests in the description of this video. From there, you could step into AQ20, Blackwing Lair, and so on. The reason I mentioned ZG first is that it is one, the easiest raid to get into, but getting that reputation for the Exalted Enchant can be very valuable all the way until level 70. The only thing that compares to this shoulder enchant is the Aldar and Scryer Exalted Enchant. Use this time to really make your plans to decide what you're going to do in the Burning Crusade. Do you want to play with a guild? In that case, start looking for guild recruiting. There'll be a ton of opportunities during the pre-patch. Maybe you're not really into raiding and you just care about PvP, battlegrounds, chasing the arena, and potentially going for gladiator. Maybe you just want to grind out heroic dungeons and you don't have any plans to raid at all. Or maybe you want to take things a little bit more casually and just do pugs. Take some time to use the new edit mode and further optimize your UI, update any of your add-ons, and maybe a friendly reminder to go clean out your bank. You probably got some junk lying around, and with the new additional bank slots being much cheaper than they were in vanilla, this is a great time to do so. Make sure to have all your reagents to cast important spells like Battle Res. Farm some gold if you have some spare time lying around. Gold is going to be very important going into the Burning Crusade. And last but not least, make sure that you're having fun. If you're focusing on everything on this list and trying to optimize every little bit of the pre-patch, take a step back, maybe just focus on the ones that really stuck out to you, and have a good time. And that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, be sure to leave those in the comments down below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you next time.